Everyone, welcome back to the workshop, and today I'm jumping back onto the Genmitsu 6050 CNC. And what I want to do is upgrade this 300 watt spindle, the stock one that came with it, to a trim router, and we're going to be playing with the Bauer 1.25 horsepower trim router. I was able to pick this up at Harbor Freight for a pretty good deal. It was actually on sale for about $40 when I grabbed it. So I thought, hey, this is a pretty inexpensive way to try to increase the power available to the router. So this is 300 watt, this is 1.25 horsepower, so 300 watt would be about 0.4 horsepower if my math's right. So it should be a pretty decent jump up in power, plus a little more stability from a bigger router and bigger bracket. So I'm gonna get this swapped out for this, and we'll start running some tests, see how it looks at the end. So if this is something that interests you, wanna see how it works, stay tuned, I'm gonna jump right into it. So we start by taking out the old spindle, and then taking the smaller bracket off, we'll then add the 65mm spindle mount on, reusing some of the screws and then grabbing a couple more from the kit. And then we will go ahead and pull the two clamp screws off of the old mount and install them into the new one as well. At this point, we can grab our Bauer router and drop it in. I decided I would put the speed control and switch towards the left. And we want to bring it up just a little bit to make sure that it's not resting on any sort of bevel part and tighten it down. I took a look, that didn't look like the cabling was going to fit, so went ahead and wrapped up the old wires, kept them in there just in case, and then used some zip tie mounts to get the cabling out of the way and off to the right side of the router. They'll not be perfectly out of the way, but this will keep them out of the path for the most part, and I added some zip ties to the side here just to grab that cable as well. And it's just for testing. If it works out well, we'll either swap out the cable or drop in a new one. So we're going to jump into Vectric. We're just going to start with a quick pocketing tool path here. So I'm just writing out hello in a nice curved font. I'm going to set an 1/8" end mill with 1/8" depth, checking all our speeds, testing it out, and then we're going to get it sent off to the Genmitsu. So we're going to drop in a 1/8" compression bit, tighten that up using both wrenches, and then using our Z probe for setting our Z height, and we can go ahead and start the milling process. All right, so that worked out pretty well. This sign cut out very clean. I did do just a little bit of sanding to take away just some of the fuzzies along the edge of the letters. But other than that, I'm not seeing layers between the two cuts, and not seeing a lot of tooling paths on the base either. So that bit, which was an 1/8" compression bit, worked very well. And I ran the numbers fairly conservative. We're going at about 40 inches per minute, and had a depth cut of 0.0625, so I did the 1/8" in 2 passes. So pretty happy with it so far, but we were running 1/8" bits on the old 300 watt spindle. So now I want to step up to a 1/4" bit and see how smoothly that runs, make sure we're not getting chatter and we're able to push it through with some decent speed. So I'm gonna swap out bits, we'll throw another project on the router, and we'll check that out. All right, so for this test, I'm just gonna do a letter M, but I'm gonna pocket out the inside and then do a profile on the outside. So I'm setting in an offset, and we'll set that to a 1/4" depth using a 1/4" end mill, and then we will also set up a profile path for the outside, making sure that goes full cut depth. So we'll get that zipped up onto a USB and off to the Genmitsu. Now we're going to swap out our bit, and I'm going to go ahead and tap the side, just get any extra sawdust out there, snug it down, and we're ready to go. right, so we got that piece cut out and it did a pretty good job on the process. However, I did feel like there was a little bit of chattering going on and the base of the finish isn't the best. I'm seeing some tool markings in there. I don't know if I can get that to where you can see it, but then definitely along the side, we have like our lines here from our each pass. And I had a fair amount of sanding to do on the top. Now that's most likely because I was using an upcut bit, was also using a climb direction for the tooling. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly change out some settings in here. I'm gonna go with a downcut bit and maybe we'll even bump the speed down just a little bit to ensure that we're not pushing this too hard. Just part of the process of dialing in a new spindle along with bits on a new on a machine. So let me get that set up. We'll run it again real quick and then we'll compare the two when I'm done. All right, so I ran that again and changed up a number of things. Still had the grain going the same direction and kept basically the same parameters, but I switched out to a downcut bit. I also changed from climb to conventional milling, and I also added in a very shallow last pass on the pocket, as well as doing a tolerance cut on the profile. So it cuts down with about a 100th of an inch difference as it's going down, in that last pass it comes in to do a full depth cut just at 100th pass. And those changes definitely seem to make a difference. And so it came out fairly clean here. The pocketing looks good. We did have a little bit of tear out here at the kind of the peak or the valley of the V part of that M. Some of that could be tool setup. Some of it also is the wood itself, but the pocketing in the base looks a lot better and the edges look a lot better. If I compare it to the last one I ran, we'll try to put these side by side here. It's a little rougher pocket on that one than compared to the one I just ran. And on the edges, you'll see the big difference here. If I can get it to focus. So on this one, you're seeing definitely the layered cuts, whereas this one, you're not seeing them so much from that last profile pass. So definitely more playing around to do, but more so this was a test of the Bauer router in this Genmitsu 6050 hobby grade CNC. And as an option, it's looking okay. Is it the best option out there? Probably not. There are definitely some higher quality routers or even a spindle you could drop in here. But when I saw this for $40, I thought, hey, I have to give it a shot and see how it does. Whether it's something that is a backup or on a pinch, or maybe it runs full time in this machine. We'll have to see. Definitely going to be doing some more tests to find out how I like that and see what else we can do with this machine. And it definitely has more power over that 300 watt spindle that it came with. Spindle is great to get it going, playing around with some of the 1/8 inch bits that it comes with. But when you want to start doing some modest projects and hogging up more material, stepping it up definitely has some advantages. So this is just a quick video. Wanted to drop that router in there. I had bought it a couple months ago when I happened to catch it on sale. I just haven't had time to get it into the Genmitsu CNC machine. So it's in there now. It's gonna make that machine a little more capable for some of the projects I've been doing. And so stay tuned. We will be adding more CNC content to the channel, hopefully to share some ideas and help you get an idea of maybe if you want to add one to your workshop as well. If you have any questions or comments for me, go ahead and leave them down below. And this is your first time here and you're new to the channel, like what you see, hit that subscribe button. I do videos like this where I'm testing out different methods, different products, swapping out things, as well as new product reviews and a lot of instructional information. So that's what I do here. Have fun just spreading information and sharing what I'm doing at my workshops. Once again, thanks for checking this out. I hope you enjoyed it, but I really hope you can get it at your workshop and make something too. We'll catch you next time.